Hey everybody, I'm Sean. Welcome to another episode of Angling Spiders. Welcome back everybody. On today's episode, I am going to be making a camera positioning system for our new Eyoyo cameras. If you haven't seen the video where I showed off the new cameras, you can go back and look. It's the previous video. Thanks to Eyoyo for sending us an underwater camera, and because of that I wanted to find a way to keep that camera positioned under the water. There's a lot of things you can buy out there online to do it. There's tripods, there's both manual versions and electric versions of tripods that you can use to hook up your camera wire to and to keep it stable in the water. But I wanted to do something that was a little cheaper, and so today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to make a camera positioning system with two simple things. The first is a bucket, and the second is a styrofoam ball. I'm going to use these two things to help position my camera under the water. So, quick one today, just going to show you how to get it done. Let's jump right into it. All right, everybody, so before I jump into making it, I just want to talk about the things that you need to do this project. Clearly, you need a pail. It can be a round pail. In this case, this is a laundry bucket square pail. Doesn't matter, as long as the styrofoam ball can fit on top of it, it's good enough. Then you need a styrofoam ball. I picked these up for $1, two for $1 from our Dollarama, which is the equivalent of the dollar store. And I needed two of them because I'm going to make one for each camera. And then what you need to do is something to both cut the styrofoam ball and a hole in the bottom of your bucket. So in order to do that today, I'm going to use a Dremel to cut the hole out of the bucket, and for the styrofoam ball I'm going to use a handsaw. That's really it. Let's jump right into the project. All right, everybody, so the first thing I'm going to do is cut a hole in the bottom of this bucket. In order to do that, I need a hole that's smaller than the diameter of the styrofoam ball, because the styrofoam ball has to sit on that hole. It also has to be a big enough hole to fit the camera through. So I'm going to use this jam lid as a template, and I'm going to make a hole in the bottom of the bucket that's exactly the size of this lid. So I've got a marker here, and I'm just going to draw it out. And there we go. That's the hole I'm going to use for the template for the hole that I'm going to make. Now I'm going to plug in the Dremel and carve that out. I'll probably put on some music here because this is pretty loud, so you guys will see this in fast motion. Alright everybody, so there it is. I've got the hole drilled out with my Dremel, cleaned up the edges a little bit, but to be honest, it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be circular shaped and smaller in diameter than your styrofoam ball. And so let's test that out. There we go. The styrofoam ball sits on top and doesn't go through, and that's perfect. That's how we want it to sit. So the next step is to take your styrofoam ball and cut a groove into it, a relatively narrow groove, only halfway through the styrofoam ball. So basically slicing it until it's halfway through and relatively narrow, because we're going to pass the camera cord through that. So that's the next step. It's kind of messy, so I'll show you the finished product. So as I said, it's kind of a messy process. I didn't cut this one very straight, but as you can see, I've now got a groove cut in the center of this styrofoam ball, and that can now sit in here. Now, just to test this out, the whole intention here is to pass the camera wire through this styrofoam ball and then be able to sit it on the hole. That's what's going to hold the camera in place as it's going through the hole in the ice. So let me grab the camera and see if we can make that work. All right, everybody, so I've got my camera here, and I've got it set up in horizontal position. The next thing I want to do is make sure that this is going to be enough to pass this cable through and actually hold it. So basically what I want to do is put it into that slot and push it all the way back. Same on the bottom. All right, it's holding that snug. And so as you can see, that is holding that cable. And now when I put it through the bucket, this camera is going to be sitting through this ball, and that's what's going to hold the cable in place and allow me to make adjustments. Because what am I trying to avoid here? Well, the challenge is when you put this camera down the hole, it's going to wobble around like this a little bit, and eventually it's going to stop. Now the challenge is it going to stop in the right direction? So what you're trying to do is find your lure so that you can be watching your lure with the camera, and you don't want your camera to be tracking in the wrong place. That's what camera positioning systems are for. What this ball is going to allow me to do is once the camera stops moving, if it's not facing the lure, I just pick up the ball, the styrofoam ball, put it back down, and it's going to allow me to position the camera in the right spot. So let me show you how this works. Literally, it's that simple. This project is done, but let me show you guys how it works. All right, you guys, so as I said, here's the camera, and here it is sitting over my workbench. Now, if I move my workbench, I've got it opened up, so that's simulating an ice fishing hole. So you put your bucket over the ice fishing hole that you've drilled with your auger, and now you've got your camera, and what you want to do is send your camera down the hole. It's going to fit through here, and you send it down to the bottom, wherever depth you want. Then what you do is you slide that cable into the ball. All right, that's going to lock that cable at that depth, and then you just set it down on your bucket. Now you're going to wait a few minutes for that camera underwater to stabilize its position. Then as soon as you want to check the positioning, all you've got to do, if you want to move the camera a little bit to the right or left, is lift up the ball, turn it slightly, and you can reposition that camera underwater. If you want to turn it right around, you can lift it up, turn it right around, and in this way you've got your very own, very easy to use camera positioning system that allows you to change the position of your camera very easily underwater to keep track of your bait and also the angle that you want to use to the view in the hole. So it's a very simple setup, but it works. The benefit is you can also use this bucket to keep your camera in as a little bit of extra protection, as well as your styrofoam ball when you're carting all this stuff out on the ice. All right, that's it. That's simply how it works. Nothing more to it. Okay, everybody, so there it is. Just a simple project today and a short video. Hopefully for those of you that don't have a camera positioning system, this helps a little bit. I know some people use clips and other things, whatever works for you, but we thought we'd try this out and it seems to be working pretty good. Looking forward to using it. And if you can't tell, the weather has changed here in southern Alberta. It did snow and we have freezing conditions right now. The temperature has dropped significantly, and we have reports that people are out ice fishing on a lake only a half an hour from here. So this video will be dropping on a Saturday, and if everything goes as planned, we will be out fishing on Sunday. So look forward to the next video being a ice fishing video and us getting back out on the water and using some of this gear for the first time. All right, everybody, that's it for this one. Thanks for joining me for this quick do-it-yourself project. And as always, if you like the video, smash that like button, hit subscribe. And until next time, good fishing.